Alright, like I said in the last video, you've got 3 speed traps. The very first one starts in the neck, shoulder, head region. Now the reason why this is important is because most people don't realize that although you run on your legs, you run with your arms. There's an entire cross pattern going on with your entire body, and that basically means that what this arm is doing is affecting this hip and leg. That's why when children begin walking or crawling, it's very important that you allow that crawl pattern to establish itself for many reasons, but namely to avoid some of the imbalances that are typical in this particular area that result in poor sprinting results. Now, in this area, there's what you would call a upper cross, and what that means is that you've got muscles over here in the extensors of your neck, the muscles that help you do this, and then you've got muscles in your pec minor that are both on one particular cross. So if you imagine, you've got these muscles in your traps, and then you've got your pec minor, which obviously this is not a good depiction of, but it's really in the front of your shoulder. That's one part of that cross in that upper area. The other is your deep cervical flexors, which is the muscles in here that help your head stay up nice and tall, and then your scapula adductors. These are the muscles back here that hold your shoulders down and back. Now, as I just demonstrated those two particular postures, you're probably pretty sure that there's one that is most evident or most prevalent in athletes that have poor performance, and it's this one here. And the reason why there are several reasons why that particular posture takes hold, but who really cares? You want to know how to fix it if you've got that problem, correct? Well, what happens is these muscles on this particular cross become underdeveloped or weak, and these ones become overdeveloped and too strong. So what we need to do essentially in order to bring that position back to upright so that when you're sprinting, you're more like, I like to tell my athletes, imagine you're an arrow, right? And if your posture is indicative of the piece of wood or the length of that arrow, if you've got a bend in that arrow, you can imagine that as the bow releases that arrow, if there's a bend, it's not going to shoot straight ahead and fast. It's going to waver and move. It's just not going to go as far. Just imagine a bent arrow. So this bent arrow, if there's a muscular imbalance, is not going to allow for full speed, linear speed expression. But if we brought that arrow back into balance, you can imagine that it's going to be that much faster, that much stronger. And if you look at a lot of straight ahead sprinting athletes, in particular track athletes, very few of them that are making it to the Olympic level look like this, where they're crossing their bodies with their arms because they got tight hip flexors, and then they're bent over and their eyes have to, their cervical spine has to extend so their eyes look straight ahead. It doesn't happen. But many of your athletes on the football field or basketball court, if you're a coach or you're an athlete, end up looking that way just because of faulty recruitment patterns and lifestyle. So what we have to end up doing is two things like I mentioned before. We've got to stretch and strengthen and create muscular balance in this area, which I'm going to show you in a moment, and then we've got to reteach the nervous system how to effectively drive the elbows, keep the chest up, keep the head long, so that you can now reproduce that pattern, that new motor engram or neuromuscular efficiency on the court or the field.
Alright guys, so your first stretch and exercise for speed trap number 1 is going to look like this, that Elliot just explained. The first one, to correct that straight arrow that he talked about, is we're going to go through a series of neck exercises. You're just going to hold a bench, keep your body and your posture upright, and you're just going to pull just like this. Do that for both sides. Then the next one you're going to do is you're going to pull the top, basically the diagonal part of your skull, pulling your chin down. You're going to feel the stretch in the back. It's your sternocleidomastoid right here like this. Same thing over here. Then, like he explained, is a lot of the athletes, they get so, everything is in the front of, right here, they get kyphosis. What we're going to do is a pec minor stretch. Basically, make sure your arm is bent at a 90-degree angle. You're you're just going to pull. You're going to feel that pull right through here. Same thing on the other side. Repeat those for a few rounds, get those real stretched out. The exercises that we're going to have you do to correct this will be one, the prone cobra, which is going to look like this. You're going to lay flat on a surface, basically. Thumbs up, and you're going to really just pull. That's going to get you to be able to pull from this back to here, correct your posture upright. The other one that we're going to have to do is, like he mentioned, when you have tight pec minors, a lot of the athletes, what they tend to do is when they're tight here, they tend to sway, and that messes up the energy transfer throughout the whole body. So what we're going to do is you're going to have basically sit on the ground, feet flat out in front of you, and you're going to pump your arms in the natural linear speed direction. So what it's going to look like is we're going to shoot the back arm from the pocket. So pretend you have a pair of jeans on and you want to put your hand in the pocket. It's going to go from right there straight up to the face. So it's going to look like this. On somebody's command, you're just going to say, go, go, go. And basically you want to relax the neck muscles. Everything. If you ever looked at a track sprinter, every muscle is relaxed. Their lips, everything. It's just a natural fluid motion. You're not tight, you're not looking like a robot, you're not moving all around here. It's just one natural motion right here. And then you want to link them. So it's going to go. And then other side, obviously. Same thing. Repeat those for speed trap number 1, guys.